welcome back to another VegInspired video. I'm Kathy, your host, the CEO and founder of VegInspired, recipe developer, cookbook author, and plant-based lifestyle and mindset coach. And I'm gonna bring you an amazing dessert recipe. Honestly, I ate it for breakfast because it has all sorts of whole foods in it that you can eat any time of the day. So whether you eat this for dessert or breakfast or as a midday snack, sit back and enjoy this recipe. Okay, we are going to make oat crumble raspberry bars. This recipe has an amazing base of really good ingredients, and so we're gonna get started right now. In the food processor, I'm going to buzz up, process some oats. So it's kind of like making my own oat flour. So I'm going to do 1 1/4 cups. One 1/4 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. So it's 5 of these scoops. And we're just gonna pulse them until they're fine like a flour. So we're gonna pulse them until they're not super fine, but they're no longer oats. And then we're gonna put more oats in later, okay? We're gonna transfer the processed oats to a little bowl. And then in our food processor, we're going to add 1 cup of medjool dates that have been pitted. This is about 10 to 12 dates. And then if your dates are kind of hard, you can soften them one of 2 ways. You can throw them in the microwave for 30 seconds, or you can soak them in hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling, but hot water for about 5 minutes to soften them. Make sure you drain them really, really well because you don't want it to be too sticky. So then we're going to put those in there. To that, we're going to add six tablespoons of plant milk, and then we're gonna pulse this carefully just to get the dates started. Then we're gonna add back our oats, and then we're gonna add another 3/4 of a cup of oats to the food processor. This is gonna help them stay a little bit more solid, a little bit more intact. And then 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened shredded coconut. So this is gonna make them a little coconutty. Make sure you scrape down the sides because it's leaving all sorts of goodness right up here in this food processor. And you want to process until your crumbly mixture gets, like, you could roll it in a ball. So you're gonna be able to form it into the bottom of the pan. In my 8x8 or in your 8x8 baking dish, or in my case, this dish, we're going to put about 2/3 of our crumble mixture. And you can eyeball it. I'm gonna wet my hands a little bit, and then I'm just gonna press this in with my fingers, making an even layer on the bottom. So you want this to be a nice even layer that goes to the edges. It doesn't have to be very thick, maybe about a half to 3/4 of an inch. If you feel like it's too thick in some places, just keep pressing it down into the edge. Feel like it's not thick enough, you can always grab a little bit more from your food processor. You just want to make sure you have enough to crumble on the top later. Now, if you don't love oats, you could try this with almond flour, or you could try to replace the oats with nuts, or you could try to do half and half. Okay, so it is pressed into the bottom of my pan. Now for the fun part. We're gonna add one of my favorite jams. This is the Whole Foods Raspberry Fruit Preserves. I absolutely love this. We're gonna put in, it's about a half a cup. You're just gonna put it in and spread it around until it's in a nice thin layer. Not super thin, like you don't wanna, like, don't skimp. The beautiful thing about this recipe is if you have a favorite chia jam that you make that's sugar-free, you can easily replace this jam with your sugar-free option. Or if you make your own jam, you could put that in there. John and I tried this with raspberry. We tried it with blueberry jam. Raspberry is definitely our favorite. We think that the raspberries and the coconut just pair so well together. So this is about a half, again, this is about a half to 3/4 of a cup. It really depends on how big your pan is, how thick your layer is. Okay, so then this is the layer. So you've got that. Now this part, I've made this several times in testing it, and one of the things that I found really enjoyable personally was when the crumbles were small on top. I didn't love the like big chunks. So I've found that I really like to make this crumbles a little bit smaller. So really breaking it up, it's not a soft crumble on top because it doesn't have butter, it doesn't have nut butter. It doesn't really have any like of that meltable fat in it. So it's not gonna make like a soft, buttery, sugary crumble on top. So if they're smaller, it's easier to cut through, it's easier to bite into. The crumbles don't kind of get everywhere. So when you bake it, you're gonna bake it until it is golden brown and the jam has like bubbled and gotten all gooey on the edges. I like my crumbles to go all over it. So then with these last pieces, I'm just gonna fill in any spots where there looks like there's a lot of jam exposed. Really making sure that I've got this nice crumble covering the entire topping. So it looks like this. And then I just gently press it down. And then this is gonna go into your 325 degrees Fahrenheit oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. Like I said, until the top is golden brown and the raspberry jam or the jam has started to bubble. If you have an air fryer like mine and it takes a baking dish, you can also air fry this at 300 degrees for about 30 minutes. This has to bake and then it has to cool completely. So we'll be back in a little while for a taste test. All right, welcome back. Our raspberry bars are baked and cooled. I'm going to gently lift the parchment paper out. Gently peeling it back. Oh, we lost a little edge over here. Over here. Okay, now we're gonna cut these. I like to use a really nice sharp knife. I'm gonna cut them into 8 equal pieces. Okay, you guys, look at this beautiful raspberry crumble bar. So we've got our base layer, we've got our raspberry jam, we've got our crumble on top, baked to perfection. All I really need with this is a cup of decaf coffee or a green tea. Let's give it a taste. Mmm. 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 The crust and the crumble are so flavorful, and the dates add a perfect amount of sweetness, but not too much sweetness, because the raspberry jam, at least the raspberry jam that I used, has organic sugar in it. So it is kind of sweet. So like I said before, If you wanted to use your own homemade jam that's made with dates or raisins or something like that, you definitely could do that. These are so good. They will be perfect for a backyard picnic, to go. I mean, they're like red. You could do the blueberry ones, but like I said, we preferred the raspberry. You could do strawberry. If you love peaches or apricots, you could do a peach or apricot one. I mean, the options are really endless, and the fact that they don't have nuts in the crust is a huge bonus, because so many of the crusts I see have nuts, and I wanted to do one that didn't have nuts. So the dates and oats, and then that combination of more of an oat flour and then the whole oats, allows you to have some texture without sacrificing the flavor or missing out on those nuts. So I hope you love this recipe as much as we do. This will be about the half dozen time I made it. They're so good. And until next time, eat more plants, live veg inspired, and have a great day. Bye.